late January, cold day, a nice day. Look at that, fantastic views over the hills, such as they are in Hampshire. It's about midday, going for a nice walk, lunch break from work. I just want to talk about today about what being a druid, what it means to me. Okay. I'm going to start off and say that druidism, I guess there's probably about as many different ways of being a druid as there are people who would say that they are a druid or that they're druidistic in their beliefs. As you can see, I'm not dressed in flowing white robes, I don't have a massive bushy beard, I'm not eating mistletoe or elderberries or strange mushrooms to gain mysterious insight. So yeah, I think like a lot of the old myths of druids. So what it means to me though is essentially a love and a respect of nature and the natural world, and within that trying to minimise my impact and my family's impact and humanity's impact on nature and the natural world, to try and live in some kind of harmony with nature, some kind of balance. Not a belief that saying we are here to sacrifice ourselves for the benefit of nature, but certainly that we should be being careful and cautious with how we live our lives. So, using minimal resources if I can, try to make things last, make do, mend and make do if I can. So, for example, my jumpers, I tend to buy pure wool jumpers because from my analysis of it, wool is the best material for jumpers because it's natural, it's reproducible. You harvest it from sheep when they have their coat sheared in the summer, so it should be plentiful and easily replaced without harming the sheep. And certainly in the UK, especially if you go up into the north of the UK, you'll see sheep wandering around on the hills everywhere, living a pretty good life, just wandering the hills and eating all day. Sounds pretty good. So it's natural, it's biodegradable, so at the end of the life it just disappears to nothing. You can put it in your compost heap apparently, if you've got one. And it's warm, retains its warmth when it's wet, although it does get heavy. So I think it's a great material. It doesn't use plastics, it doesn't use oil reserves to build it, and it's fairly easy to turn it into a good quality garment that's going to last for a long time. And I've got one of the jumpers which must be going on for about a decade old, and yeah, they've worn through at the elbows a bit. And I've patched those up with your standard like science or geography teacher leather patches on the elbows, but some people might not view that as being particularly cool or fashionable, but at the end of the day it's minimising my impact on the environment. Some nice houses and a nice old church spire in this little village. Can we see the church? Just about there. Car coming this way. Try not to get run over, that would be bad. So I choose wool for my jumpers because it's minimising my impact on the environment. At the end of its life, it just goes back to the earth, and it doesn't take much from the earth. Okay, I moved away from cotton because whether it's organic cotton or fair trade cotton, it's using a lot of land, it's using a lot of water, and it causes quite a lot of damage. And if you want to know the kind of damage, get off the road here because the car was in round. If you want to know the kind of damage, look up the Aral Sea, for example, in the former Soviet Union, and what happened there with the cotton plantations. It absolutely decimated it. But I try and make the choices there that are going to minimise my impact on the environment. That's not to say that none of my clothes are made of plastic. If you notice the coat I'm wearing, it's definitely like a Gore-Tex style jacket. It's definitely not natural material. But so long as you're using it and using it for a long time and not just throwing it away, that's okay. Many things like fast fashion, I try not to do that. I try and buy very few clothes and just make them last, repair them when I need to. When they get to the stage where they can't be repaired anymore, and find a way of recycling and replace them. Another advantage of this, as well as it being kind of the environment, saves me a bit of brass as well. So I've got more money to spend on the things that I enjoy, like going on adventures. So that's one thing, and then we also like driving, trying to minimise the amount I drive. If I can, walk, get public transport, cycle. My bicycle's broken at the moment. It needs a good bit of fixing. It's an old vintage bicycle. I suspect it's probably got to the point where I need a new one. Disappointing. Let's see if I can pick one up second hand, which comes on to my next thing. Another thing I can do to minimise my impact on the environment is buy things second hand if I can. Don't use so much energy at home, so all energy efficient stuff in there, solar panels on the roof. Just try and minimise what my footprint is in terms of what I use, in terms of energy, in terms of resources. Also include the amount of rubbish I make, because that has an impact on the environment. Beautiful here, the birds are very nice. Watch out for the Royal Mail van. I'll get one over. People getting their parcels. Also, this nice beech hedge that someone's planted here, I definitely approve of that. I'm trying to plant natural, native species to the UK because they're going to bring the most benefit to the wildlife in the UK. And as we're aware, bee numbers, insect numbers, and native bird numbers are often falling. So I'm doing what I can to try and mitigate the impacts of modern life on wildlife. Very loud cockerel there. So yeah, in essence, that's what for me being a druid is. It's about respecting nature, trying to minimise my impact on nature, trying to give back to nature and help it deal with the modern world and the way it is. And there's a whole host of ways that you can do that. But it's not about necessarily going around and on the solstices and the equinoxes around standing stones and stone circles and chanting and singing and stuff like that. But that is quite good fun as well. Visiting the stones. I went to Stonehenge for the first time for winter solstice. But I often go to several other stone circles, like the Hodron stones in the Peak District. They're really good. Nice and peaceful and quiet. Or even just climb a local hill somewhere, wherever I am. And watch it. Watch the sunrise and the sunsets. But you know, there's also definitely a part, a little bit of the paganistic side, I guess, of celebrating with feasting and drinking and family. And that's always really rewarding. But different people have different ideas. Some people will have their druidistic, they'll be worshipping gods and goddesses. I don't believe there is any god or goddess. But you know, I still refer to Mother Nature and respect Mother Nature, because Mother Nature, well, nature is what provides us with everything we have on Earth. And some lovely houses again here. This nice little village in rural Hampshire. I'm walking through a cottage called Tudor Cottage. If it is Tudor or not, I don't know, but it looks very pretty. Sounds like a bin lorry coming down. So it's all about protecting the environment, and I think every druid would do that, whether they, believe in a god or a goddess, or go chanting or things like that, or do any kind of specific rituals. And You know, it's up to you. You can go and investigate it. I know there's various organisations that will teach you about gods and goddesses, but it's not for me. Thank you. But there we go. So yeah, if you are interested in Druidism, please, follow the channel. I'll have more insights into my specific ideology, some more insights into how I try and minimise my impact with things I do that I believe are going to help nature recover from the damage that we're doing as a species. Everyone can follow these, and some of them will save you money, as I said. I think a lot of it actually is firstly that we've got to break this cycle of arrogance and pride. A lot of people, things like, I've got to have the latest car, I've got to have the latest fashion in clothes or whatever. I can't possibly wear a woolen jumper with elbow pads, because what will people think of me? And if people are going to judge and make judgments on you about that, then I think that's really a poor show on the people who are doing the judging's behalf. But there's more to come on that, more philosophy. I could wax lyrical for ages. Anyway, hope you found this at least a bit useful. It's a little bit of a quick introduction. I'll do more when I've got longer time, and I'll talk more about things like how to cut back on resources and use, how to recycle more effectively, etc.